gentlemen, and welcome to the Variable Y Minute with your host, the Variable Y. I thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I think tonight is going to be a very special show because we're going to introduce a new segment tonight. So, normally, you guys, you know that when we do a Friday show, that is normally a show that's called Off the Beaten Path, where we go off the beaten path. We don't really talk about sports or anything. We try not to make it too serious, and we talk about some fun stuff. So, I was thinking about something, and I wanted to kind of incorporate that into a brand new segment. So, and what I'm going to do is, like I said, I want to incorporate that, turn it into a whole new segment. And what I'm going to call that segment is Nerds, You Need to Get Over This. So let me just give you guys just a little bit of background. And I don't want anybody to get upset. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're calling us nerds. You know, nerds are this and nerds are that and blah, 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 blah. Look, I'm not here to debate the merits of nerds. As a matter of fact, you've heard it here first. We're all nerds. There is something that every last one of us nerd out about, be it, TV shows, be it movies, be it video games, be it toys, be it some people with makeup, clothes, politics. It doesn't matter. We all nerd out about something. Now, I know there are going to be some of you out there who are going to say, nerd culture is pop culture. And again, I agree with you. So please get off your high horse. I agree with you. And then there are going to be some of you out there who are like, well, I'm just a big jock and I'm no nerd and da 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 da. And yes, okay, you are a nerd. You know why? Because just whenever before the pandemic, you would have stood in line for 3 hours just to get us an autograph by another grown man. So you're a nerd too. And your room looks like you played sports at some place when you really didn't play any sports. You just got a bunch of memorabilia in your room with a bunch of crap that you didn't do anything to earn. You just bought it all. Hey, no judgment because I've done the same thing, but you're a nerd. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to move on. So, like I said, tonight's segment is called Nerds, You Need to Get Over This. And so, what we're going to do during this segment is we're going to take a topic that I've heard many, many, many times floating around either on the internet or I've read somewhere or, have been on somebody's blog post or something that I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be. And that's kind of why I'm saying nerds need to get over it because I believe that the casual fan probably doesn't have as big an issue with this, but the nerds do. And hey, I could be wrong. Please leave a comment. Let me know if no, Variable, you're crazy. This is a big deal. Let me tell you why. So now, with all of the introduction out of the way, let's get to the very first nerds. You need to get over this topic. And what we're going to do a topic on tonight, the one thing that I think the nerds have got to get over is the ending to the TV show How I Met Your Mother. Now, a little bit more background. How I Met Your Mother is probably my favorite sitcom of all time because I really enjoyed the camaraderie of the group. I enjoyed how tight they were as friends. It reminded me of being in my friend group and us all growing together, those after college years where you're just trying to find yourself and you're trying to find love and you're trying to see how you still fit in with your friend group when some of them start to get married and have babies and, maybe you're in a group of mixed company. So you got guys and girls who get together and they're kind of messing with each other and then they break up and it messes up the whole crew. I get it. This is kind of the life that I kind of led, and I assume a lot of you have led too. So this show really spoke to me on that level, and not just that. I think like some of their jokes were all great. They had perfect timing with those jokes. They pretty much called back every single joke that they had. If there was something that they spoke about in season one, somewhere down the line, if the narrator, who's Ted, said, "Hey, we'll get to that," he always got to it, and I think that was just amazing. I think it was amazing storytelling and a great, great show. One thing I don't think the show did itself any favors with was naming the show How I Met Your Mother, because that kind of got people to want to know a lot about the mother. And in my opinion, though the mother was awesome, though I really, really wish we could have spent more time with the mother, I don't really think the show was about meeting the mother. It was about the journey before meeting the mother. It was about all those years that led up to all those decisions that led up to actually getting to meet the mother. And if one of those decisions were made differently, then he may not have met the mother of his children who he's telling this story to. So, all that being said, and now here's my chance for all of you who somehow have not seen the last episode of How I Met Your Mother. Maybe you have never watched the show. Maybe you're saying, huh, okay, well, you kind of convinced me, Variable. Maybe I'll go back and see it. Here's your spoiler alert, because we are going to talk about the last season and the last episode. So right now is your chance to say, oh man, Variable, I have to check this out once I actually watch the show. I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so all of you who are still here, you know that in the last episode, we finally actually get to meet the mother. We actually get to see them get together, and it's beautiful for roughly 5 minutes of screen time. And then the mother gets a terminal disease and she passes away. And then the story ends, and the story is about it actually gets Ted to go back and try and date Robin again. Now, the reason why I even came up with this segment is because this whole situation has sent the internet ablaze, always getting upset about the fact that, oh my God, I can't believe we did all of this just for it to turn out that Ted is going to try and get with Robin again. I can't believe he did that. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But I don't see it that way. I see it as an actual story. In this universe, real life happens. In this universe, remember, Marshall's dad died. So people die in this universe. Remember the guy at the counter in the store that Lily went into that time that gave her decaf instead of giving her, or it gave her regular coffee instead of giving her decaf. And she gave him that look, you're dead to me look. And then he actually died. People die in this story. So for this character, no matter how important she is, no matter how much of this mythos is built around her, the fact that she died really speaks to what happens in this universe. It really speaks to the fact that there are some stories that are going to be told that are not going to be all that sweet and all that peachy keen. Some things are actually going to happen that we may not like. And so I think that it's seen from a different aspect of a lot of sitcoms. A lot of sitcoms in those last seasons, there's one big conflict, something that happens where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. If you think about The Big Bang Theory, oh my God, everybody had this conflict with Sheldon where everybody was for real this time going to stop hanging out with Sheldon. But then again, of course, they changed course right at the end so that we could have this touching moment. Or if you think about Friends, all of a sudden Rachel loses her job at Bloomingdale's, but then she gets this job in France and she's going to go to France. And then Ross finally somehow out of nowhere says, yes, this is the woman I want to be with, even though he already had a child with her and they had been together for so much time and he had always wanted to be with her. It took her leaving for him to finally say, no, this is who I want to be with. And so they got to the end of that conflict. Or if you go on to a number of other sitcoms, you go to Different World. You had Dwayne finally got his big break, finally got sold an idea to have him finally take care of his family. But him and his buddy who came with the idea, Ron Johnson, they fell out. So they had to have this thing so they can get back together. So we all know that there has to be some kind of big issue that happens in sitcoms at the end so that everybody can get that happy ending. But not this one. This one didn't do that. This one gave us the story that it promised us. It only promised us that it would show us how Ted met his wife. It only promised us that. It didn't promise us that they would be together forever. It didn't promise us that they would die together. It just promised us that they would love each other till death do them part. And that's what they did. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm something wrong with me, but if I'm with somebody and they pass away, and then my children say, "Well, hey, I noticed that ever since mom passed and such has come around, and you guys have made googly eyes at each other, and we would like for you to try and date her again. She seems to really make you happy. It's time for you to move on." I'm gonna do that. It only seems to make sense to me. So I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so upset about it. I understand saying, "Hey, Tracy is awesome, and we should have had more time with Tracy." I wholeheartedly agree with that. I do. I would love for them to do some kind of revival where they actually do Tracy. They include Tracy into the fold, and they do their life right up until the time Tracy dies. I think that would be wonderful. And again, this is my favorite sitcom. So if they were to come back and do a revival, I'm all for it. But for everybody to be so upset about it, for everybody to think that they were somehow misled, or they were somehow bamboozled, or somehow the wool was pulled from their eyes or thrown over there, whatever, however that whole cliche goes. Somehow that we were robbed of what we were actually coming for. I don't think that's right. I think that's actually wrong. I think that's something that you nerds should get over, because what we got was a wonderful show for 9 seasons. That, yeah, like most shows, that especially shows that are around that long, are all the seasons going to be consistent? Of course not. Did they tack on one season too long? Of course they did. But I'll be damned if it just wasn't a great ride. And every time I watch it, that's all I feel every single time, is it was a great ride. So, nerds, you got to get over the ending of How I Met Your Mother, because it's great. No matter what you think, it's awesome. Go back and watch it, and take your blinders off. Take your not blinders. Take your mag goggles. Take those off. Just watch the show for what it is. A great show that reminds you of what it was like to be in your 20s and how awesome your 20s were. And tell me that you still are mad after watching it again. And if you are, then hey, something wrong with you. But I'm going to watch that show and just remember my 20s and enjoy it, because that's what that show is all about. Not necessarily about meeting your mother, but about the journey along the way. So anyway, guys, we've been for you for a long time tonight doing this brand new segment. I hope you enjoyed it. I did, so I hope you did too. And we're going to do some more of these, because there's a lot of things that nerds really need to get over. So, of course, you can always like, share, and subscribe. And again, please leave comments if you think that I'm tripping, if you think that Ted was tripping, if you think that, no, they should have never done that, then leave me a comment. I would love to hear it. Or if you say, you know what, I never thought about it like that, Variable. It was just about the journey. You know what? You're right. I'm going to rewatch it now, and I'm going to look at it from that perspective. That would be great. So you know where to find me. Here, you can like, share, and subscribe like I just asked you to do. This will be the third time. You can catch me over on Instagram at Variable Y altogether, or you can catch me over on Twitter at _variable. Until we meet again, have a wonderful night, you guys, and I'll see you soon.